One of the single best things about being an adult is being able to buy as much Lego as you want. And so on.
And so on.
And so on.
And so on.
Continue with similar things or actions.
Continue with similar things or actions.
We discussed various topics such as music, art, and so on.
We discussed various topics such as music, art, and so on.
Y así sucesivamente.
Ever so.
Ever so.
Ever so.
Ever so.
Very or extremely.
Very or extremely.
The cake was ever so delicious.
The cake was ever so delicious.
De todos modos.
Not so much as.
Not so much as.
Not so much as.
Not so much as.
Less than something else, but still related.
Less than something else, but still related.
He's not so much a teacher as a mentor.
He's not so much a teacher as a mentor.
No tanto, como.
Or so.
Or so.
Or so.
Or so.
Approximately or about that amount.
Approximately or about that amount.
The event will start at 6 o'clock or so.
The event will start at 6 o'clock or so.
Más o menos.
So as to.
So as to.
So as to.
So as to.
In order to or for the purpose of.
In order to or for the purpose of.
She arrived early so as to secure a good seat.
She arrived early so as to secure a good seat.
Con el fin de.
So as to.
So as to.
So as to.
So as to.
To such a degree that.
To such a degree that.
She studied so hard as to achieve her goals.
She studied so hard as to achieve her goals.
Así que, en cuanto a.
So that.
So that.
So that.
So that.
In order that or with the purpose that.
In order that or with the purpose that.
She turned on the lights so that we could see.
She turned on the lights so that we could see.
Para.
So that.
So that.
So that.
So that.
To an extent that.
To an extent that.
The rain was so heavy that the streets were flooded.
The rain was so heavy that the streets were flooded.
Así que, ese.
Soak up.
Soak up.
Soak up.
Soak up.
Absorb or take in something, often knowledge.
Absorb or take in something, often knowledge.
Let's soak up the sun at the beach.
Let's soak up the sun at the beach.
Embeber.
As soon as.
As soon as.
As soon as.
As soon as.
Immediately after or once.
Immediately after or once.
We'll leave as soon as the rain stops.
We'll leave as soon as the rain stops.
Tan pronto como.
No sooner than.
No sooner than.
No sooner than.
No sooner than.
Almost immediately after.
Almost immediately after.
The movie will start no sooner than 7 p.m.
The movie will start no sooner than 7 p.m.
Tan pronto como.
Sooner or later.
Sooner or later.
Sooner or later.
Sooner or later.
At some point in the future.
At some point in the future.
Sooner or later, you'll need to make a decision.
Sooner or later, you'll need to make a decision.
Tarde o temprano.
Would sooner.
Would sooner.
Would sooner.
Would sooner.
Prefer to do something.
Prefer to do something.
I would sooner walk than take a crowded bus.
I would sooner walk than take a crowded bus.
Preferiría.
Spit out.
Spit out.
Spit out.
Spit out.
Forcefully expel something from the mouth.
Forcefully expel something from the mouth.
The baby spit out her pacifier.
The baby spit out her pacifier.
Escupir.
In spite of.
In spite of.
In spite of.
In spite of.
Despite or regardless of.
Despite or regardless of.
She succeeded in spite of the obstacles.
She succeeded in spite of the obstacles.
A pesar de.
Split up.
Split up.
Split up.
Split up.
Separate or break into parts.
Separate or break into parts.
The friends decided to split up and go their separate ways.
The friends decided to split up and go their separate ways.
Partir.
On the spot.
On the spot.
On the spot.
On the spot.
Immediately and without delay.
Immediately and without delay.
He made a decision on the spot without thinking.
He made a decision on the spot without thinking.
En el acto.
Spring up.
Spring up.
Spring up.
Spring up.
Appear or develop suddenly.
Appear or develop suddenly.
Flowers spring up in the garden every spring.
Flowers spring up in the garden every spring.
Surgir.
On the spur of the moment.
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 Impulsively or without planning.
Impulsively or without planning.
She booked a trip on the spur of the moment.
She booked a trip on the spur of the moment.
De improviso.
At stake.
At stake.
At stake.
At stake.
Something important or valuable at risk.
Something important or valuable at risk.
Their friendship was at stake after the argument.
Their friendship was at stake after the argument.
En juego.
Stand by.
Stand by.
Stand by.
Stand by.
Support or be loyal to someone.
Support or be loyal to someone.
He promised to stand by her side through thick and thin.
He promised to stand by her side through thick and thin.
Espera.
Stand down.
Stand down.
Stand down.
Stand down.
Resign or step aside from a position.
Resign or step aside from a position.
The captain had to stand down due to an injury.
The captain had to stand down due to an injury.
Retírate.
Stand for.
Stand for.
Stand for.
Stand for.
Represent or symbolize something.
Represent or symbolize something.
The acronym NASA stands for National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
The acronym NASA stands for National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
Representar.
Stand in.
Stand in.
Stand in.
Stand in.
Substitute for someone temporarily.
Substitute for someone temporarily.
She had to stand in for her colleague at the last minute.
She had to stand in for her colleague at the last minute.
Suplente.
Stand out.
Stand out.
Stand out.
Stand out.
Be noticeable or exceptional.
Be noticeable or exceptional.
His unique talent makes him stand out in the crowd.
His unique talent makes him stand out in the crowd.
Destacarse.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Rise to a standing position.
Rise to a standing position.
Please stand up when the national anthem is played.
Please stand up when the national anthem is played.
Párate.
Stand up for.
Stand up for.
Stand up for.
Stand up for.
Defend or support a cause or person.
Defend or support a cause or person.
He's always ready to stand up for his beliefs.
He's always ready to stand up for his beliefs.
Defiende.
Stand up to.
Stand up to.
Stand up to.
Stand up to.
Confront or resist a challenge or threat.
Confront or resist a challenge or threat.
She had the courage to stand up to the bully.
She had the courage to stand up to the bully.
Enfréntate a.
Steer clear of.
Steer clear of.
Steer clear of.
Steer clear of.
Avoid or stay away from something.
Avoid or stay away from something.
It's best to steer clear of negative influences.
It's best to steer clear of negative influences.
Manténgase alejado de.
In step.
In step.
In step.
In step.
In sync or in harmony with others.
In sync or in harmony with others.
They march together in step with the music.
They march together in step with the music.
En paso.
Out of step.
Out of step.
Out of step.
Out of step.
Not in sync or out of harmony with others.
Not in sync or out of harmony with others.
His dance moves were out of step with the rhythm.
His dance moves were out of step with the rhythm.
Fuera de sintonía.
Step aside.
Step aside.
Step aside.
Step aside.
Move to the side or relinquish a position.
Move to the side or relinquish a position.
He had to step aside and let someone else take charge.
He had to step aside and let someone else take charge.
Hacerse a un lado.
Step by step.
Step by step.
Step by step.
Step by step.
Gradually or in a systematic manner.
Gradually or in a systematic manner.
The instructions were given step by step for clarity.
The instructions were given step by step for clarity.
Paso a paso.
Step in.
Step in.
Step in.
Step in.
Intervene or become involved in a situation.
Intervene or become involved in a situation.
She had to step in and resolve the argument.
She had to step in and resolve the argument.
Entrar.
Step up.
Step up.
Step up.
Step up.
Increase or improve something.
Increase or improve something.
It's time to step up and take on more responsibilities.
It's time to step up and take on more responsibilities.
Aumentar.
If it still itches after a week, go to the doctor's.